Astra Investment Services is a full service brokerage firm. So what does that mean for our customers? Well, it means that there's nothing that we can't help them with from an investment perspective. We handle everything from stocks and bonds to mutual funds to annuities to life insurance, CDs, and alternative investments, which is a wide array of different things. But and quite honestly, I have people that invest in all those things, and so it's exciting for us to be able to bring those types of products and services to our customers in the towns that we service. So.
Well, that's great, and I know that there are always a lot of questions surrounding the financial services industry and when should I invest, what should I invest in, and so those are the types of things that Rusty is going to be able to answer, and we'll answer in future video presentations as well. But let's jump right in and talk a little bit about tax refunds. What is the average size of refund that someone might expect?
The average refund in the United States today is about $2,800 per family.
Okay.
So that seems to be about the average in the Midwest too, where we're located. So.
Okay, great. Do you have customers that receive sizable tax refunds every year?
I do, and Jared, great question. One of the things I tell them is they may want to take a look at their W-4 where they can put down how many exemptions they're getting, because they may need to up their exemptions. It's okay to get a refund back every year, and it's okay to get a smaller refund, but if you're getting a large refund every year, I think you probably need to talk to your tax advisor or look at your W-4 and maybe adjust that to where you're not getting such a sizable refund back, because that's kind of a poor use of your dollars not being invested for that time during the year when that money could be growing for you. And we all love our country, but it's better if the United States government isn't holding that money for you each year.
Sure,
so
sure.
It's better if you've got control of it and you're investing it. So
sure. And
hopefully it's going to be growing for you. So
sure. Obviously, very important to have your dollars work for you.
Yes, absolutely.
What do most households do with those funds?
Another great question. And last year I saw a survey that came out from a financial services company called bankrate.com. And in that survey, it said about 31% of the people that get a refund would like to either save that money or invest it. I think 28%, according to that survey, try to pay down debt that they have. So, for instance, if you have a credit card that is, the interest rate that you're having to pay on that debt is 16% or higher, if you pay that off, that's basically giving yourself a 16% rate of return. So those are the types of things that people do. Some other responders to that survey said that another thing they like to do is to set up an emergency fund, which I think is very smart to do.
Okay.
So those were some of the answers to that particular survey, and I found it very interesting. So.
Well, for some of the viewers that might not know what an emergency fund is, can you kind of just go into detail a little bit about what an emergency fund is and why it might be beneficial for folks to have one?
Sure. Rule of thumb is that you want to have 6 months to 12 months of your salary put away in a savings account of some kind.
Okay.
That you've got access to.
Okay.
So in the event that we have a hailstorm that comes through and you need to pay the deductible on your roof, you've got that money set aside to do that. Or if you unfortunately some people lose their jobs, and so you've got a fund set aside that and that would be typical uses of an emergency fund. You've got those funds set aside, so another term for those for an emergency fund is a rainy day fund.
Okay.
But unfortunately that's life, and there are times when those things happen, and so it's nice to have that much set aside. So about 6 months salary in a savings account is what most financial advisors think is a good starting place for an emergency fund. So
okay, yeah, so definitely just trying to keep some funds available for those instances that come up that aren't your day-to-day things.
right.
Yeah, well, good. Well, what are some of the ways, you mentioned earlier that people want to try to invest that money. What are some of the ways that you can invest that money?
Once you get that refund back, one place to potentially place that money would be in an employee-sponsored retirement plan or an IRA. Those are great investment vehicles to take tax dollars that you've now paid taxes on, place those in an investment vehicle that are going to be tax deferred for many years to come. So that's a good place to put money. Of course, I have some customers that say, you know what, we'd really like to just put that in an after-tax account. So we've got more access to it prior to age 59 and a half years of age. So that's another place to do that. And when I have customers that want to do that, when they're really smart, they'll try to diversify that money in different investment vehicles. So they're not, it helps set aside some of the risks that may be involved with investing, and they're not pigeonholing that money, so to say, in one or two asset classes. They're investing across a wide array of asset classes.
So along with an employer-sponsored plan and an IRA and some different avenues like that they can invest in, what are some other types of investments that folks might be interested in and really need to know about that could be beneficial to them?
Yeah, I think that making an indirect investment might be a place that you would consider putting a tax refund. And when I say indirect investment, that would be typically that's an investment in yourself, into maybe a business that you have always wanted to start, or an investment in a business that you currently have. Or I see people now, particularly with online educational courses, that are taking that money and investing in themselves as far as education is concerned. So,
oh wow, okay.
Those are other things that I see people do with those funds.
Are there any indirect investments that might help you or your household grow wealthier one day?
Yes, definitely. Going back to the employee-sponsored retirement plans, I mean, it's really smart to take that kind of money. And also, a lot of times when I set up those accounts for people, they also say, Rusty, I really need to be disciplined about it, and I need to start a monthly recurring, not obligation, but a monthly recurring plan to where I just pay myself first, in other words, and so make a decision about an amount that you're comfortable with that you can set aside and invest in an account like that. And given a period of time, that money can really grow substantially and be a nice nest egg for you. So it's a great habit to form, to do that. I've seen people grow their accounts over the years to where it's pretty unimaginable how much money they end up with in an account like that, given a period of time.
Sure.
So.
Well, so when you mentioned that the average is roughly $2,800, would you say that there would be a specific dollar amount that one might look at starting to invest? Whether that's $500 of it or $1,000 of it, or is there a good amount of money that maybe they could start with?
Great
and then
question.
Each year look at building off of that if they are able to get a tax return?
Well, honestly, I have customers that contribute $50 a month to an account, and we invest that monthly, all the way to people that honestly have millions of dollars in investing. The best place to start is what you can afford to do, and but we try to serve as many different customers as we can here at Astra Investment Services. And so there isn't any one answer for that question necessarily, but I really enjoy seeing young people step up and say, you know, I really need to start an investment plan. And so that's one of the things that I enjoy most about my job, is seeing young people say, you know what, I've got to save money, and I've got to save for my family, or for my future family for that matter, or I want to start a business someday and I want to, you know, take money that I'm making now and make that grow over years, and I think we do that pretty effectively. So
sure. Well, would you say that, you mentioned young people, and obviously very important for anybody to start saving. It's never too late.
Right.
But would you say that, I mean, if you have income coming in, no matter if you're, you know, age 16, 18, 38, would you recommend that, you know, if you did get a tax refund, to just go ahead and really start thinking about those things at a young age? Right.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it best. There's no appropriate age. It's when you can. And then again, be disciplined about it. You know, be disciplined in your approach. Diversify those assets across different asset classes to reduce your risk exposure. And what do I mean by that? Well, you know, I remember I had a guy that wanted to invest money. He really wanted to invest in oil companies, which is great. But if that's all you invest in, okay, sometimes the price of a barrel of oil comes down, and then, you know, you're not diversified enough to where all of a sudden, you know, it's like, okay, what are some businesses that profit when the price of a barrel of oil is down? Okay, well, maybe trucking companies or airlines. You know, you want to be diversified into those types of asset classes, so when one goes down, the other one comes up.
So don't put all of your eggs in one basket. So
absolutely, that's correct.
Great.
Yeah.
So Rusty, for those folks that are interested in getting in contact with you and learning more about potentially being able to help them, you know, reach their financial goals, how would they go about doing that?
Well, there's a bunch of different ways. We actually have a website that people can get in contact with me at. A lot of times people just come into the bank and they just say, hey, I know that you guys have an investment department now. Is there a chance that I might be able to meet with Rusty? And I go to all our bank locations 5 days a week and meet with people here in Abilene, in Plainville, in Hayes, in Sutton, in Chapman, in Belleville. Was just in Belleville yesterday, and Scandia, our other bank location as well. So I will come and see them at the bank, or I'll come to their residence, or sometimes met a customer the other day at a Starbucks. I mean, so great question, and I also have a full-time assistant that they can contact, and she'll schedule an appointment for me as well, and for them. So yeah.
Well, excellent. So feel free to stop by any one of our locations or give us a call, and one of our employees will get you in touch with Rusty and be more than happy to come out and see you. Well, Rusty, I appreciate the time today, and I hope that folks will have a little better understanding of kind of some great ideas on what you can do with your tax refund dollars. And this is the first of many VMPs to come for Astra Bank. So today the topic was obviously what to do with a tax refund. So stay tuned, as we'll have Rusty on and to discuss a few more topics and dive in a little bit more regarding the investments and maybe some other things that can be done and to be beneficial for everyone financially. So for Rusty Love at Astra Investment Services, I'm Jared Bauk with Astra Bank. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you found this video very beneficial, and look for more information from us in the future. Thank you.